On to part 2 now. What we're going to be doing is UV mapping this balustrade. So if we go to UV, we need to use a cylindrical map. So we go down to UV, cylindrical, and select. Now we need to focus in on these little red tabs. Now what we do is we go into UV editor. We can see that it's really stretched. It's really stretched horizontally. We need to get rid of that because otherwise it's going to look very strange and very warped. So let's close this down. And we grab all these little red tags and we pull them round so that they are round to the other side of our model. And what that does is it will close up and make it a bit more regular shaped. Now I'm still not happy with that because we need our UV map to be within this top right quadrant. So we're going to grab this scale manipulator and drag it in. Okay, going to leave it like that and close it up. Right, so that should now be UV mapped. Next thing we're going to do, oops, go back on there. Right, next thing we're going to do is go back into our front view. So, and we're going to move this model up slightly. But before we do that, we need to freeze our transformations. So freeze transformations, okay, and that freezes and resets the translate, scale, and rotate so that they're back to their original values. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to raise up our model by 5 units. So we're going to put our base in. And we're also going to translate it to the right by 2.5, like so. Okay. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our bottom sort of length of steel. So we're going to hit create, cube, we're going to reset settings, and we're going to create something that is 200 units wide. I'm going to give it height of 5 and depth 6. We want it slightly wider than our balustrades. Hit create. Now it's going to be straddling this x-axis, so we need to move it up slightly. So move it up by the half of the height, 2.5, and we're going to move it along by a half of the width, which was 100. 100. So, and that gives us our correct position. Now, we're going to next do a bevel on it. Okay, so back on here, bevel, box, and then we're going to do absolute, and we're going to do 0.5. So what absolute does is it means that the bevel is relative to the edges that are already there rather than to the length, because if we did 0.5 then the bevel here on the ends would appear here, and that wouldn't look correct at all. So I think that looks pretty good. Now we're going to duplicate this, so hit Control D, duplicate, and we're going to then move it up by, oops, grab that, we're going to move it up like so. So it's around about the 112 mark. 5. There we go. That's fine. Next thing we need to do is we need to duplicate this. So using the duplicate special. So this is the whole point of the tutorial. So duplicate special. And what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate copying and instancing. Okay. And what this is going to do is demonstrate that you can use copies of a model, or you can use instances which are connected to the original model and allow you to edit once it's actually been copied. It's very useful. So if we go and we're going to enter some values, we want 19 copies, so we want 20 in total along this length. Okay, but we want 19 copies of it. It's already got one in place. We want gaps of 10. That will give us the correct pattern. We want gaps of 10 within our spacing. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now, individual models, you can see if you move them or you edit them in some way. So let's grab some vests. See that they're all separate. If you edit this one, it doesn't affect any of the others. Now, what we want is we want some sort of connection. So that if we modify one of these, then we want each of them to actually change as well. Now, that's what we're going to do in our next model, in our next video, sorry. So, just wait for me there.